Hey everyone, it's me again. Blue collar leadership is what we'll be talking about today. We've made it up to chapter 9. And chapter 9 is titled, Your Potential is Unlimited. Again, I spent over 20 years in the blue collar industries and the first 10 on the front lines with entry-level blue collar workers. That's what I was for 10 years. I started at the bottom and 10 years later I was still at the bottom. And I hadn't really realized the potential that was within me. I just went to work and went home. If I want to make more money, I tried to work more hours. And that's what a lot of people do who don't have a higher level of awareness. So this video series is to help you change that level of awareness so that you can do more, be more, and have more without having to work more. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? I think everybody would like that option. But it don't just happen. You got to make it happen. And, you know, when I decided to go to college in 1995, after graduating high school in 87, I was working 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day, a lot, a single parent. And I had to give up my time to go. But what I knew was my son was 4 or 5, Eric, he was 4 or 5 years old then. And I knew as he got older, I didn't want to be working all the time. I was working second shift a lot and third shift, but mainly second shift at that time. And I didn't want to miss out on his sports activities and all those sort of things. So I made the sacrifice that I was going to go to school, go back to college, so that I could start moving up in the company and get one of those day jobs that other people have. And I knew I'd have a better opportunity like that. So I knew I was going to have to give up on the front end to have some space on the back end. And that's what happened. I don't think I ever missed any of Eric's games. I was always available to be there. And it wouldn't have happened had I not given up some time to get more time on the end. And that's the way it works. You got to give up to go up. But chapter 9, Your Potential is Unlimited. And I touched a little bit on this before. The subtitle is You Should Always Be Grateful, but Never Satisfied. And I'm going to read a quote by Charles Koch. And he, one of the owners, CEOs of Koch Industries. If you don't know about Koch, they're about a $115 billion company. And I ain't getting into the politics of it. I don't care about politics either. But I care about good quotes and good thoughts. And this was a good one from one of his books that I read. And Charles says, when we fully develop our potential, we create superior value for others. And that in turn helps give meaning to our lives. Life is pretty empty without passion for what we are doing. What a tragedy to reach the end of your life and only be able to say, I got by without having to do too much. Charles G. Koch. And that's spelled K-O-C-H in case you're not familiar with him. And that's what a lot of people do. People at a low level of awareness. And it's not just blue collar people, it's people. A lot of people go to work, their goal is to do the least amount to get paid the most amount. And low-level leaders, low-impact leaders, their goal is to pay the people the least amount and try to get the most work out of them. So it's just like a terrible situation. Unless you lead yourself, your potential is unlimited. You got to believe it. A lot of things I'm talking about, you may say, well, I don't think I can do that. And that's okay. Don't lie to yourself. Don't tell yourself you can do something you're not sure you can do. And I learned this from Les Brown. And Les says, maybe you can't say that with integrity to yourself. Maybe I can't believe in my heart that I can do whatever it is I want to do. Maybe I can't believe it. So I don't need to run around and tell myself I can do it. That's what Les talks about. What he says, though, is it possible? Can you tell yourself it is possible that I could do that? If I'm willing to go do the work. If it's within reason, you know, 5'7" Mack Story ain't going to be a pro basketball player. That ain't possible. That ain't going to happen. I ain't going to talk about it. I ain't going to worry about it. And I don't like basketball anyway. Wonder why. But 5'7" is working for me too. So I don't worry about that either. I kind of like everything about who I am and where I am, and hadn't always been that way, but that's where I'm at today. But I want you to realize that your potential is unlimited. Your potential to be better every day is unlimited. As long as you're alive and you're in full mental ability and your health's good, you can always be better. Most people don't do that, though. They go get a job and they settle. In my book, Defining Influence, I share a quote. It took me 45 minutes to come up with this quote. Even though I can write the whole book in a week, it took me 45 minutes to come up with this one quote. And basically what it says is, in life, people who are searching find what they'll settle for and stop looking for what they were searching for. People settle on a house, a spouse, a job, all kind of stuff people settle on. And then they're miserable. Some people are miserable 40 or 50, 60 years, then they die. What kind of life is that? If you're miserable, change something. Don't expect somebody else to change it. They may not ever change. That's the craziest thing I used to do is I'd have a problem and I think the problem was with you. You got to change. If you change, my life will be better. And you never change, my life never better. As soon as I figured out if I change, my life's going to be better. I may not be able to change you, but I can change being around you. And you may be my boss, or you may be a coworker, or you may be a spouse, or you may be family. There's no telling, but when you grow and develop yourself, you don't have to be around people you don't want to be around anymore. I used to work for some really bad bosses back in my manufacturing days. They're still out there, but Mack's story don't report to them anymore. They don't impact my life. They're still impacting other people's life who are moaning and groaning, complaining about them. I always like to say, high impact people shine, low impact people whine.